That's a funny question coming from you, because you were the one that inspired it pretty much. I remember seeing a Facebook post of yours where you said your ultimate goal in life somehow would be to work with a pedal company on a signature pedal. And then I asked you what this pedal would look like, and then we got into a conversation, which then would ultimately be the foundation of what now is the Ark of Tone pedal. So you pretty much started rolling the ball there. The Ark of Tone is based on your desire to take 2 Red Llama circuits and put them into one enclosure. So essentially the two sides, the 2 drive sides of the Ark of Tone are 2 Red Llama circuits. But then again, the Red Llama is based on another schematic that was developed by Craig Enderton in 1977 called the Tube Sound Fuzz. And I think George Trips just took that and made it his own, tweaked a couple of values. The original Tube Sound Fuzz has 10 times or more gain than the Red Llama. So yeah, there are a few differences. There are a couple of differences. The Ark of Tone has 2 Red Llama circuits, and it's not just one pedal, it's essentially 2 pedals in one. And then CMOS inverters, especially at higher settings, have a tendency to become very, very bright, almost brittle. And depending on the amp that you're using, especially some of the more traditional amp models out there, it can get very nasty in the high end. So we've added a tone control in the form of a very smooth but effective low-pass filter, so you can tame some of that high end, which is really great. And the other thing we kind of experimented with was a voltage control. So each side has a voltage control that goes down to 3 volts essentially, so it's actually very low, and you can get a fuzzy, almost starving kind of sound out of it. And then since you can stack both sides, it's very interesting. You can get very interesting effects with it. So, and that's something the original version also didn't have. Plus there are there's some really interesting switching options with the Ark of Tone. Yes, they're absolutely identical. 100%. That is because of our intention that you can use the pedal in sort of an A-B kind of concept. So if you have one side engaged, you can also engage the other side at the same time, or you can flip-flop between both sides. This way you can essentially get the same tone, but with more gain, or with more volume, or with more or less high end. So yeah, they're voiced the same way specifically for that reason. No, you cannot stack them in different directions. That's something that we actually did with Double Cavron, but there are some other cool things that you can do with the Ark of Tone. So you can obviously activate each side individually, and you can activate them at the same time. And then the middle foot switch does a couple of clever things. So if the pedal is completely bypassed and it's off, you can use the middle foot switch to activate both sides instantly, which is great if you wanted to go from clean nothing to full-on fuzz distortion or something in between. And then, but if only one side is activated and you click on the middle foot switch, you actually can flip-flop between the two drive sections, which is really nice because that gives you the option to make your one-channel amp into a 1, 2, 3, 4-channel amp actually, because you could go side 1 and then flip over to side B, even more gain, and then activate the first side again to have even more gain. So there's a lot of really nice, funny, interactive ways you can play with that pedal. I remember that we explored and brainstormed a couple of name ideas, and for some reason the name of your operation, Ark Solver Studios, the word Ark, got stuck with me for some reason. Not because of Ark of Covenant or Noah's Ark, which is even written in a different way, but it's, I don't know, I kind of is a powerful word, like the Ark. And then the Ark of Tone at some point got stuck with me as an idea. I remember that we spoke about alternatives, but then we ultimately stayed with Ark of Tone, which is a powerful name to what I think is turned out to be a very powerful pedal. That's very simple actually. So what the low pass filter does is it goes from no filter at all, so it's open until I think 18, 19K, which is way more than what you normally hear with guitars. And then it gradually, in a very smooth curve, takes out that high end, but you still preserve all the mids, which is what's most important with guitars, obviously. A lot of tone controls have the issue that if you go to the right, yes, you add high end, or if you go to the left, you take high end out, and everything gets a little bit like darker. But then in the middle position, there's this slight dip in the mids, and that's what I wanted to avoid. To be honest, it was a fun idea at first because I was like, I've seen this with a couple of pedals, and I thought because of the basic structure of the schematic that it would be something, especially at higher gain volumes, or if you stack both sides and it starts to get like a little bit fuzzy, a little bit hairy, it would be interesting if you could actually play with the voltage. And it turned out to be a great feature. So you'll get even more tonal options. You get the option to achieve that kind of lo-fi, starving, fuzzy kind of sound. It was a fun idea. It turned out to be a great feature for what the pedal brings to the table overall. A couple of ways. You could go to ffxpedals.com, which is our website, and you can find it there. You can find all the info there. You can purchase it there. We also have a shop on Reverb if you want to shop it on Reverb for whatever reason, because you like Reverb. And we expect the pedal to be soon stocked at some of our retailers as well. So if you live close to one of these retailers, you can check it out there. And for whatever kind of questions you have, you can write us on Instagram, on Facebook, and through our website.